Good day to you. I am preparing a digital measurement tutorial to show you how to operate our digital measurement. First thing you do is to click on the digital measurement and it opens the digital measurement. You have 3 tabs: measurement, drawings, that's the register, the drawings. It's also on the first tab, and other information that other options that you need to operate. And there's another one, display. You can see it in 3D view. If you've been measuring walls, the walls will stand up. You will see them, which is quite handy. And there are various other things which we will get into later. Back to the measurement, and I'm going to add a drawing. I'm going to go to my drawings and to add a drawing. And I'm going to say, here's the ground floor, and you click open, and then it puts that down. You can shorten that a bit, edit that, and you can allocate a folder if you wish to put them all together, certain drawings together in the drawing register. If you've got a lot of drawings, you want to group them. Architectural drawings, maybe engineering drawings, that sort of thing. And the drawing title is ground floor. And it's drawing number 1 in the series that you're going to enter, and it's revision 0. Now you come down here and it asks you for the scale. Now, I happen to know that these drawings, because they came from a model in AutoCAD, that they are 1:1. But you always check, we will check when we get to the drawing on the calibration to see that that is correct. My assumption is correct. Then that's all you need to do, and click that, and then you get the drawing. And the way you will check the calibration is to go to known dimension, there to there, and I'm going to click the calibration, click trace, and put your cursor on the end of the dimension and take it across to the other side, and you'll see that this says 4234, and if you put in your measurement there, it's 4230. It will in fact confirm that it leaves that 1:1. If it were anything different, it would say 1:50 or 1:100, whatever the actual scale is based on that calibration. Okay, so once you've done the calibration, that's the first step. And the next step is to decide what you're going to measure. I'm going to measure 1 brick wall, and I'm going to click new object. Okay, and it says add object, and I'm going to have 231 brick wall, and I'm going to put it in the group of walls. You just create the group. They are available later for you to select. And we're not going to measure the area, although that's what we want at the end. We're going to measure the length like you would normally do, I think, when you're measuring manually. You would take the girth, the collection of the walls, and multiply by the height. Now this height is 2.8, which I've determined from the section. And once I've done that, I say OK. And then I take my cursor and we will measure that and measure this. And so you go on. Okay, this is the example, all right? And each dimension gets a number, which you can, if you don't like those, you can remove them on the drawing screen, drawing tab rather. You can switch that off. Now, we now have 18 meters, 0.27 length, and if we go here, we'll say, what is the vertical area? So we've actually measured 51 square meters of vertical brickwork. And that you would go around the whole house plan, measuring the walls in that fashion. So now, once I've done that, we can start measuring the tiles in this area here. So I need a new object, and that object is going to be floor tiling, and you can, if you don't know what they are, you'll just put it in lounge dining, just so that you know where they are, so that you can specify them. This indeed is an area, okay? So we're going to leave that, we're going to measure an area. But while I'm measuring the area, I can measure the inside face of the walls of that room, so that I can use that vertical measurement for plaster and paint. So we're going to put our 2.8 in there again. That is the correct height. And I'm going to say OK. So now I go to here and I measure down to here. Leave out the staircase. And we go down to wherever the tiles are. Okay, now we measure that, and we now click save, so that all the data and all the drawings that we've put in so far, it's very important to click that save so that it is saved. Okay, now that basically is the method of measurement. There are lots of things in a building you have to measure. The doors. So if we say new, I'm going to say, what have we got here? Internal flush doors. I'm going to change that to doors. And we're not going to measure the area, obviously. We're going to measure count this time, because we're going to count the doors, or you need them as number. And then we say, OK. And I go to the doors, and I count them. 1, 2, 3. Provided these are all the same type of doors, you obviously must do that. That's an external door. And I think that's all the doors. Right, so we have 5 doors. That's an external door. That is actually a fire door. So I need to delete that dimension, because it's a fire door, which drops me down to 4. So I have basically 4 internal doors. Okay, So again, save that, and we have some measurements now. So the next step is to go click on, just put your cursor on the icon, Qsplus icon now, and click on that, and we're going to click the digital measurement interface, and it opens like that. There's your drawing, the ground floor. We're going to click on that, and we're going to click next. So what this is going to do is to bring all of the measurements from the drawing and put it into this interface so that you may link it to your bills of quantities items. Okay, there they are. We measured the 4 internal flush doors, the walls, and okay, I mixed that up. That should be under floors. However, we can sort that out later. So I'm going to now click on single section, or whichever section, if you're multi-section, whichever section you wish to put this measurement into, and I'm going to select a brickwork item in the masonry superstructure, brickwork of NFP bricks in class 2 mortar, and go down here to look for one brick wall. There they are. Save and hide. It appears in your bill. This is your bill coming here on the right hand side. So click on that. Click on that, but you'll see there is no area on this item. We measured the length, and we put a multiplier in for the height, and we get a vertical area. So what you need to do is cross to here and click vertical area on that drop down. And now when I click on this item, it automatically recognizes that you've changed the dimension, the digital measurement unit, and it's now vertical area. And so we now can just click this button which says link the currently highlighted measurement to the currently highlighted bill items. There we go. And now we have 51 square meters in your bill. Okay. Now the same would go if I go to back to the library, close it down so I can see where everything is, and go to, sorry, there's the tiling, floor tiling, and we measure one, and you would have to edit that obviously according to what you're using. I won't do that editing now because you all know how to edit. You would edit in the currently highlighted description, and it's on floors and landings. And then you click save and hide, and now you have the tiles. You can edit them here, by the way, if you want to, by right clicking, and then you can edit that and save it. There are many places, as you will know in Qsplus, where you can edit your descriptions. Okay, so floors and landings, we want an area, we have an area, and we will now link that. Now we have 87 square meters of tiling. You can use that same thing for your screed, or you can use the group measurement feature in Qsplus, which allows you to measure the surface bed, the screed, the tiling, the mesh, the DPC underneath, that sort of thing. And that will be in a later tutorial. So this is it. You get your 87 there. Now, but you know we've got all sorts of other issues here, or quantities here rather. So if I said, okay, What about some skirting? Okay, so we'll put the skirting in there, and we'll save and hide the skirting. So now we've got skirting, it needs a length, and hello, we've got a length here, and that length is the perimeter to the areas that we measured on as an area. So you're measuring all sorts of things. By one measurement, you're getting many together. You're getting the length, you're getting the vertical area, which is the wall area, which you're going to plaster and paint, and obviously the area, which is the area of the floor itself. The volume is the volume of the room, but so you won't be using that anywhere, but it's handy because you might be measuring slabs, and it can give you the volume of the slabs by using that depth. All right, so now we can we've got here, we want length, we've got length here, and we join that, and there's 44 meters of skirting in the bill. Okay, now how are we going to use this vertical area? We're going to use it for when you want to collapse the tree, you click the little blue arrow there, and I'm going down to plastering and internal plastering on walls, and then I click save and hide, and again we're not going to use the area because that's the area of the floor on this. We need the vertical area, so once again I go across to this column here, and I click and I select vertical area. Now this side will know that it must fetch the link unit of vertical area, and we simply join that, and you've got 120 square meters of wall plaster. And we can do the same for the paint. We can go down to the paintwork and paint on new floated plaster. I'll just take that one. It's the first one, but whatever you change your description to Plascon or whatever it is, wall and all, I don't know. And you say walls, save and hide, and there's your area. But again, we know we want the vertical area for this one, and we join that, and you got your 123 there. So that basically is how you will measure using Qsplus Digital Measurement. There are other aspects of it which I will get to in a later tutorial, as I said, and you will now notice that you can go to the bill, tender document, save it, and there your bill is, as you recognize it, I'm sure. And there is your masonry that we started with, our internal plaster, our floor tiling, and paint on the floated plaster walls, and good old summary at the back, followed by your index, obviously. All right, that's it for the moment. So I will be posting this to our YouTube channel, and you can view it there. I will be sending links to anybody who needs it, and it's a great upgrade to your current Qsplus. It's one of the best priced digital measurement modules against the others that are available, and it has all the functionality, And next time I will show you how to measure a BIM model. This is the most exciting part about it. This is where it can save the quantity surveyor hours and hours of time. Thank you and goodbye for now.